Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and it is what I thought that this in down here. I don't know if everybody's heard, but Lee County, Florida, there was a cop, as you can see here in the picture, that was getting beat by another guy, and I knew this didn't sound right. This sounded fishy. You can see the two cars here. Something didn't sound right, and sure enough, we got the tip in. We're trying to verify it right now. This guy on top of him, the reason why the cop didn't shoot him like they usually execute people right away and then ask questions later, is because he knew him. The guy on top of him beating him is a jail cop. So if you guys didn't hear, a concealed carry guy saw what was going on here on the off-ramp in Florida. Concealed carry guy is right over here. The cop said, shoot him, shoot him. The concealed carry guy, this guy had no gun. The concealed carry guy pumped 3 bullets into him and executed him. So the concealed carry guy was not in fear for his life. This guy did not have a gun. He could not kill it. Well, he could kill the guy with his own hands, but still, he could have fired one shot, one bullet, and you're in pain, you're going to stop. But the concealed carry guy over here executed him dead. And I knew something was wrong because we actually drove by this scene accident and started at 10 a.m. in the morning. They didn't shut it down till 9 o'clock at night. And I've never seen so many cops in my life. So it is what we thought. Like I've been telling you guys for years, investigate the shit out of these corrupt mother effers, man. Everything is so corrupt. The courts are corrupt. The cops are corrupt. The sheriffs are corrupt. Our government is corrupt. You guys already know that. So always investigate. Always question authority. This is Lee County, so do your FOIA request there. FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. With that, you can ask anything you want, man. These people are so dirty, it's not even funny. So I knew something was wrong. Like I said, that's the tip that came in. They knew each other. That's why the freaking cop and or sheriff didn't blow him away himself, because he knew him. And then, like I said, the concealed carry guy over here freaking executed him. Are you nuts? And he was this guy was no danger to the concealed carry guy over here. None. You could have did one shot, dude. So charge this concealed carry guy with manslaughter. Don't make him a hero because he saved a tyrant. That's what this guy on the ground is. A cop and a sheriff today is a tyrant. They're not fighting for freedom. They're fighting for tyranny, man. Wake up. I haven't met a good cop yet. A good cop would say that it is tyranny, and he would turn in the corrupt cops, but they're not, because a thick blue line of corruption is so disgusting right now, it's not even funny. In Charlotte County, I'm under investigation just because I do COPWATCH. Just because I have freedom of speech. Just because I'm waking people up to how out of control the corruption is here and nationwide. Jesus, man, wake up before... We are actually already Nazi Germany. We have surpassed Nazi Germany. Nazi Germany dreamt of having a military police state like this, where they could tap your phone, your computer, everything. And that is what they're doing right now. Wake up. Take your town back, your city back, your county back, your state back, before it's too late. Like I said, we are already Nazi Germany. We don't have the death camps, but we do have jails and prisons, which in the end is a death camp. 5 people dead in Charlotte County Sheriff, and the freaking sheep here reelected that prick that let 5 people die in jail, Bill PRUMMELL. Are you kidding me? Is that like propaganda and indoctrination where they don't even see that that's extremely wrong? Wake up, sheeple.
96.9 Wink FM. Listen while you work.
I'm addicted to Wink FM.
It's great at work.
I love to Wink at work.
They play a lot of music.
I start my day with Wink FM.
96.9 Wink FM, where your workday flies by. Wink News begins with breaking news.
I heard 3 shots. The man on top that was sitting down on top of the police officer fell to the side. The police officer got up. He was exhausted, and they just laid back down, and then help came.
First at 6 o'clock, a Lee County deputy attacked on I-75 and the suspect shot dead by another driver. This was the scene just hours ago on the southbound exit ramp at Corkscrew Road. Multiple sources telling Wink News Deputy First Class Dean Bardez, a 12-year veteran of the sheriff's office, was working an accident when the suspect's car approached him. The deputy claims the suspect had a gun and took off. A car chase and a fight soon followed.
The good news is that deputy is okay. This is a live look at the scene right now. The exit ramp is still shut down and will be for the next several hours. Wink News has complete team coverage at the scene with reporters Andrew Scheinthal and Olivia Mancino. Anchor Brittany McDonald is live at Lee Memorial Hospital, and reporter Nicole Valdez is live at the Lee County Sheriff's Office. There are still a lot of unanswered questions about this attack.
Wink News talked with several witnesses about what they saw happen this morning. Wink News reporter Andrew Scheinthal live at the scene with those details first. Andrew.
Well, the scene is now dark here as the sun has gone down over southwest Florida. It was more than 8.5 hours ago when all this happened and Corkscrew Road was shut down. This happening during a very busy time in the morning, and we spoke with a number of witnesses who tell us they have never seen anything like this.
As I rolled up, he was sitting on top of the police officer, and I heard like 3 shots. He fell down on top of the police officer.
Chaos on the highway Monday morning as witnesses describe a hectic scene that deputies say ended with a suspect dead.
When I was on the highway before I got off on the exit, there was a high-speed pursuit on the left shoulder.
During the morning commute, witnesses tell Wink News that a high-speed chase ended on the exit ramp when the suspect got out of his car.
I got off the interstate. I seen the guy who speeded past me, his door was open. And as I rolled up, he was sitting on top of the police officer.
Another witness says the man was beating the officer, and that's when they heard gunshots ring out.
They were struggling for a little bit. Then I heard 3 shots. The man on top that was sitting down on top of the police officer fell to the side. The police officer got up. He was exhausted, and they just laid back down, and then help came.
Now back out here live, you can see this is still a very active scene. The ramp is still closed, and we are told by deputies they do not expect to open it anytime soon. They're really expecting it to be closed through 9 o'clock tonight. Live in Estero, Andrew Scheinthal, Wink News now.
Andrew, thank you. So with all of that, let's get a live check on traffic on I-75 right near Corkscrew Road there. Florida Highway Patrol says, as Andrew said, the southbound exit at Corkscrew will be closed until about 9 o'clock, and you can see the cars are moving slowly in both directions right now. The outer lanes are open, but count on Wink News to let you know if any of the conditions on the road change.
Again, Deputy First Class Dean Bardez is expected to be okay. He was taken to Lee Memorial Hospital after the incident, but is now back home. Wink News anchor Brittany McDonald spoke to Deputy Bardez's wife earlier. She's live at Lee Memorial now with the details. Brittany?
Well, Deputy Bardez was here at Lee Memorial Hospital for a few hours, but was able to leave with just a bandage or 2 and was welcomed with a nice show of support from the Lee County Sheriff's Office, many of them waiting here to make sure he was okay. I went to his house where he's been since being released from the hospital, but he didn't want to speak at the time. Take a look at your screen, though. This is cell phone video that I shot as he was being released earlier this afternoon just outside of the emergency room. Deputy Bardez was greeted by a few fellow deputies, shaking hands and giving hugs. He was walking and talking and drove off with who looked to be his wife. And this after we're told he took a severe beating from the suspect and was yelling out for help on I-75. Right after it all happened, deputies flooded the outside of the ER this morning, waiting on his condition. And once they knew he was okay, they slowly started trickling out. Everyone just very relieved that he's okay and should make a full recovery. I'm live in Fort Myers. Brittany McDonald, Wink News now.
All right, Brittany, thank you. Wink News also spoke with a woman who claimed she saw the suspect jump out of his car and tackle Deputy Bardez. Here's what she had to say.
Horrified. When I first saw him get out of his car, and I just thought he was running. I had no idea he was going to go after the police officer. He threw the officer to the ground so violently. I mean, it was awful. And he would just started punching him and hitting and hitting and hitting.
So, as we speak, this investigation is still very active. Earlier this afternoon, I-75 backed up in both directions, and look in the median there. Cadets with the Lee County Sheriff's Office canvassing the area carefully about 3 miles north of Corkscrew, looking for clues. The Lee County Sheriff's Office was supposed to hold a press conference this afternoon with more details, but they postponed it until further notice. That said, Wink News reporter Nicole Valdez is live at the Sheriff's Office tonight with what we know so far. Nicole.
Chris, it's been several hours since this all unfolded, but the Lee County Sheriff's Office tells me they won't be releasing any more information until they can contact the suspect's family. However, Wink News has learned the deputy injured in this morning's incident is Deputy First Class Dean Bardez. You can see him right here. According to multiple sources in law enforcement, this all started after Bardez was working a separate accident on I-75 northbound this morning that's near mile marker 126. That's where the suspect approached Bardez and pulled out what he later told his supervisors was a gun. Now, that suspect took off and the deputy followed right behind him. They both stopped and got out of their cars at the Corkscrew Road exit ramp where this all happened. Sources say that's when the suspect started beating the deputy right on the side of the road. Sources saying Bardez begged for help over his radio. Then a driver passing by stopped his car and took matters into his own hands, threatening to shoot the suspect if he didn't stop. When the suspect didn't let up, this driver shot him 3 times. Now let's take you to another live look at this scene right now. Sources telling Wink News the driver does have a concealed carry permit and Bardez was not shot in this incident, but he is recovering now from his injuries from the fight. Now, we are still waiting for officials to address these details with us. Again, we're not expecting that to happen today, but KENNETH News to let you know when that happens and bring that to you live, both on air and online. We're live outside the Lee County Sheriff's Office tonight. I'm Nicole Valdez. Wink News now.
Nicole, thank you. The witness accounts of this deputy attack have been shocking. Here's another person who talked to Wink News about it today.
And I see probably about 10 of them around one body and resuscitating the body where the victim that was shot by the officer was down there. Probably about 10-15 minutes they were going at it.
Wink News reporter Olivia Mancino live at the scene now with more from people who were in that area this morning. Olivia.
Yeah, I spoke to a lot of people who saw this whole incident unfold on their way to work, but Wink News spoke to one man exclusively who said this commotion woke him up and what he saw outside was completely shocking.
It was a little eye-shocking to see it right, 10 feet away from my house. That was the scary part there.
Gunshots were the last thing Gabe Plaza thought he would hear Monday morning.
I heard like 2 to 4 gunshots when I was sleeping.
Or Rick Maestas thought he would hear on his way to work.
I heard 3 shots. The man on top that was sitting down on top of the police officer fell to the side. The police officer got up. He was exhausted.
Take a look at these photos you'll only see on Wink News. A man is being carried off on a stretcher. Witnesses say this is the suspect.
And I see probably about 10 of them around one body and resuscitating the body where the victim that was shot by the officer was down there. Probably about 10-15 minutes they were going at it.
Plaza says after he watched officers give the man CPR, they put him in an ambulance and took him away. He says it's a very scary and unusual way to wake up on a Monday morning. Now, to clarify, those gunshots that the witness heard came from a passerby with a concealed carry permit. Now, multiple sources confirmed with us that passerby warned the suspect to stop, attacking that officer or he would shoot. We're live in Lee County. Olivia Mancino, Wink News now.
Olivia, thank you. And for more on the shooting, you can go to the Wink News Facebook page. We've been posting updates the entire day, and we'll continue to do so throughout the night. You can always check here for details, even when we're not on the air. And Wink News will continue pressing for more answers about the deputy attack. Count on us for complete coverage later tonight on the Wink News Night Beat. That starts at 10 over on WXCW.
Corner is following breaking news and learning more tonight about a chaotic and deadly incident in South Lee County. A suspect killed, a deputy hurt, all after a highway encounter ended with gunshots.
It all went down this morning on I-75 in Estero, right near the Corkscrew Road exit. Southbound lanes of the ramp have been shut down for hours while authorities continue to investigate.
4 in Your Corner's Carl Fortier is live at the Lee County Sheriff's Office tonight, where a press conference was abruptly canceled there. Carl, what can you tell us?
Yeah, that southbound ramp at exit 123 will likely remain closed until about 9 p.m. while deputies continue to investigate this traffic stop that went horribly wrong, that ended up with the driver being shot and killed. And right now, it's not even clear who pulled the trigger.
Earlier this morning, we had an officer-involved shooting on I-75 on the ramp, actually, to Corkscrew Road.
A Lee County deputy had just pulled over a vehicle on the southbound ramp for exit 123. Lieutenant Jeff Detka says it wasn't long after that shots rang out, leaving the driver of the stopped vehicle dead.
As we speak, our officer is fine. The suspect is deceased.
The deputy was injured and taken to a local hospital, but it isn't clear who the deceased driver is, who fired the shot or shots that killed him, or even if the shooter was a law enforcement officer.
Don't have a lot of information. It is very fresh right now, and they are working diligently to get this solved, to get something out of it.
The southbound ramp at Corkscrew was closed for hours as deputies processed the scene. Traffic on I-75 slowed to a crawl, while those wanting to get off at 123 had to find an alternate route. Now, earlier we were told that there would be another press conference here at the Sheriff's Office at 3 o'clock. That did not happen, as we were told that there just weren't any more details to be released. Of course, as more details come in, we'll be sure to bring them to you. Reporting live in Lee County, Carl Fortier, Fox 4, in your corner.
He threatened the guy to get off the officer, and he refused to get off. And the officer said, shoot him, shoot him. And then he shot him.
A Good Samaritan answers a Lee County deputy's plea for help, shooting and killing his attacker on the side of the interstate.
And as I rode up, he was sitting on top of the police officer, and I heard like 3 shots.
Witnesses saw the whole thing happen. NBC2 breaking new details in our live team coverage. Good evening, I'm Kelly Burns.
And I'm Peter Bush. Here's what we know so far. Witnesses tell us a deputy tried pulling over a man on I-75 near the Corkscrew Road exit. He took off, reaching speeds up to 100 miles per hour. The scene shut down I-75 for hours. Eventually, the driver got out of his car and started attacking a deputy. That's when witnesses say a third person came over and shot the driver dead.
We have team coverage tonight at 6. NBC2's Trent Kelly is pushing law enforcement for answers. But we begin with NBC2's Jacqueline Beavis and the witnesses who saw the high-speed chase turn deadly.
Kelly, this scene out here on the exit remains very active at this hour tonight. It's expected to remain closed until 9 o'clock this evening. You can see law enforcement still on scene. The lights are up. The investigation underway. It's caused a bit of a traffic mess on 75 throughout the day today. But I can tell you that people on their typical morning commute this morning became official witnesses to a deputy that was attacked and then a deadly shooting.
My husband was honking his horn so to stop the guy to get some attention from him, but he didn't, and another guy with a blue shirt came out with a gun.
The scene Shanta Holditch describes closed the exit for hours, backed up traffic along 75 for miles, and left a suspect dead.
The officer had his flashers going, and he was trying to follow the guy, and as soon as we got off the ramp, the guy stopped. The officer stopped.
Witnesses saw the driver attack a sheriff deputy before they say another man ran up with a gun, shouting at the suspect to stop.
And I heard like 3 shots. He fell down on top of the police officer. After a moment, the police officer rolled him back over, got on his mic, then he rolled over back on the ground.
The scene covered miles from the 75 South Corkscrew exit, where the law enforcement helicopter landed twice today, to miles ahead where FHP cars and cadets were seen canvassing for evidence.
I was just trying to get out of the way, but I got surrounded.
Those who saw it for themselves still in shock over what happened.
The guy that protected, that shot the bad guy was a guy that parked he had pulled over on the ramp, and he just saw the guy beating the officer, and he pulled out his gun.
This exclusive Sky 2 video from earlier today, you see two vehicles that are circled here. Both those cars are still on the scene tonight and have been central to the investigation, with crime scene technicians in and out of them. Both vehicles also with their driver's side doors open. We've seen additional caution tape surrounding them for most of the day as well. Again, this case remaining very active. The crime scene units still out here tonight as part of this investigation. Reporting live in Lee County, Jacqueline Beavis, NBC2.
Continuing our team coverage tonight is NBC2's Trent Kelly. He's live at the Lee County Sheriff's headquarters pushing for answers. Trent, this happened 7 hours ago, and investigators haven't said a peep.
Well, we were actually supposed to hear from Sheriff Mike Scott earlier this afternoon and get the chance to ask him questions about what exactly happened. But just about 20 minutes before that news conference, the sheriff's office abruptly canceled it. Investigators say they need more time to contact the suspect's family before they start releasing any new information. Now, earlier today, NBC2 was the first crew at Lee Memorial Hospital. Our cameras capturing this video. You can see an ambulance driving right up to the back entrance with a marked LCSO cruiser tailing it the whole way. Right now, we are still working to confirm who was inside, but Peter, as you mentioned, it's now been about 7 or 8 hours since this shooting first took place, and aside from their first update this morning, deputies have not released any new information about the suspect or the deputy. We are live in Lee County tonight. Trent Kelly, NBC2.
All right, Trent, thank you. And the southbound exit ramps at Corkscrew Road will remain closed. You can see this behind me until 9 tonight. This is a live look right now. The interstate remains open. You can count on NBC2 to let you know when it reopens.
What did you just see back there?
Well, when I was on the highway before I got off on the exit, there was a high-speed pursuit on the left shoulder. When I got off on the highway onto this on-ramp, off-ramp, there was a man on top of another man on plain clothes. They were struggling for a little bit. Then I heard 3 shots. The man on top that was sitting down on top of the police officer fell to the side. The police officer got up. He was exhausted, and they just laid back down, and then help came.
Wow. So you were stuck here for a while?
Yeah, since it happened. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you got to get to work, I'm assuming.
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you so much. Latest on this deputy involved. Hey Facebook, I'm here at Lee Memorial Hospital where I've been pretty much all day after this deputy involved shooting on I-75. I'm going to wait until a few people join the live video here. All right, here at Lee Memorial Hospital, just waiting for a few people to join the video. In just a few minutes, I'm going to be live on Wink News with the latest on this deputy-involved shooting on I-75. It really is a crazy story. Happened this morning. Some of the other reporters were on I-75. They can tell you a little bit more about what happened actually on the scene. But it's my understanding that he was doing a traffic stop and got into a fight with a suspect, and that suspect was actually severely beating him on the interstate there, and somebody stopped and saw them and actually warned the suspect to stop doing what he was doing or he would shoot. He has a concealed carry, and the guy didn't stop, and so he ended up shooting the suspect about 3 times, and that suspect died. Amazingly, the deputy was taken to the hospital here, but he's doing okay. He walked away with just minor injuries from my understanding. So I've been at the hospital, and he was here for a few hours this morning, and I was just outside the ER when he was released. And I could see that he was there with a few other deputies. Some fellow deputies were there. Actually, a bunch of them flooded the ER back here when it first happened, kind of awaiting what his condition would be. So they were back here for quite some time, and then once they learned he was okay, they started trickling out, but there were still several that were back there. When he came out, I saw them shaking his hand, hugging him, talking to him with what looked like it was his wife, who ended up driving him off. But he just appeared to have a bandage or two, even after what was described as a severe beating. So it was a really scary situation for everybody. We tried to talk with him. We showed up at his house and tried to talk with him, but understandably so, he didn't want to talk to us. I'm sure he's extremely shaken up and just trying to recover. So that's basically the update on that. We're going to be following this into the night. It was really surprising to me that it wasn't even a deputy or an officer at all that ended up shooting this suspect. It was just somebody who saw that the deputy was getting beat up on the interstate and actually took matters into his own hands and shot the suspect, and that suspect ended up dying. So I believe our night beat is looking more into the legalities of that and what you're supposed to do and what you can and can't do. But in this situation, it may have saved the deputy's life. We're still looking into all that. It's very much an investigation. But what I can tell you is that I'm here at Lee Memorial Hospital. He was released earlier today and is now home. Dean Bardez is his name, Deputy Dean Bardez, and he should be making a full recovery, but definitely a scary situation. We have live team coverage coming up at 6 o'clock, so you'll want to tune in, and I'll see you guys there. And just looking at your comments here, yeah, we are all very thankful that he's doing okay. So thanks so much for those of you who've joined me, and I will see you at 6 o'clock.